And welcome back to another episode of By Its Cover. I'm your host, Katie.
I'm Jake.
And you've started listening to By Its Cover. How did our intro go?
I know it's kind of funny, though, that you can't get it.
I can't get it. Oh, I know why. Okay. And welcome back to another episode of By Its Cover, a podcast where we pick out books by their cover,
Read them.
consume them,
Read them.
and then we talk about them on the show. I'm
Heck
your
yeah.
host, Katie.
Oh, we're starting over.
No.
I'm Jake.
Yep. And today's book is from Blood and Ash. Go ahead and describe the cover, Katie.
It says in very clear letters, from Blood and Ash. And it was written by Jennifer Armentrout. L is their middle initial. The cover is very, I would say, like gothic almost, like gothic style art. There is like crossed like an X in the middle is a very ornate knife, a long knife. And then in the other direction, the other part of the X is an arrow, a metal arrow. I really can't tell what's in the background, if it's a tree or some kind of ghost or... And then there's these red, what kind of plant is that? There are red leaves, blood red leaves of a sort that I'm not familiar with.
So looking at this cover, what do you think this book is about?
Well, that's an interesting question that you bring up because I feel like myself 2 years ago would have looked at this book cover and been like, maybe a fighter or about a ghost or some kind of vampire story, maybe, with the blood and ash. But I've learned a lot from picking out books by their covers. And I think that the contrast of the red leaves is a giveaway that it's a smut book.
Tricked by smut. Again, tricked by smut. I don't know how I do it. I was looking for gory, masculine, war, fantasy, trash. Nope. This is kind of smut. It's kind of like Fourth Wing smut.
I haven't read that either, but the cover is probably very similar in some ways. Like there's a very specific style of art that is like encrypted smut.
Fourth Wing is very much surprised by smut. New York Times bestseller, surprised by smut.
Okay, let me see. Fourth Wing, what does that cover look like? I think that there's like a particular art style now. You're right. Fourth Wing does not have that art style, but I've seen this art style on other books that I know are smut.
Yeah, I think it's the red.
Is it the red? Is that what it is?
Yeah. Because when I picked it out, I was like, this better not be smut. And then I listened to it and 6 hours in, yep, smut.
So is it a smut book if 6 hours in there's smut?
If you watch a romantic comedy and there's, I don't know.
Some romantic comedy near the end?
Some romance in it. Is that smut? Is that a smut? Is that porn?
No, it's romantic comedy.
Okay, so romantasy is what this is.
So tell me about the storyline. Wait, no. Where were you when you picked out this book? When you were deceived by red leaves?
I was in my backyard.
Oh.
I was working in the yard and I was like, I need something to listen to. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
And what drew you to the cover?
I was looking for gore, blood, ash, burning.
And red leaves, that's what...
I saw the two swords. This was two swords. I saw two swords and red, which means blood. And I was like, yeah, that's blood.
Okay. All right. So what is this book about?
It's actually a pretty good book. There is a little bit of romance, but it's not the predominant theme of the story.
Okay. So it's not really a smut book.
It's romantasy.
Okay.
Is a word you taught me.
No.
Somebody taught me the word romantasy.
Other family member. Yeah.
Okay. So this book follows Poppy. Also, her long name is Penelope.
Okay.
Nickname is Poppy.
Cute.
And Poppy, just so everyone knows, this is going to get into some like stereotypical woman purity type stuff. Mm-hmm. So Poppy is the maiden.
Okay.
And the maiden is very important because the maiden has special magical powers, but the maiden also has to remain pure. She wears white. She covers her face. No one can see her. blah, blah,
Biggest
blah.
eye roll ever over here.
Yep. Yeah, you can hear the eye roll from here. And I rolled my eyes too. I was like, oh God. But it's about Poppy's ascension to no longer being hidden behind her veil.
Oh.
Right. Which is kind of cool, right?
Nice.
Poppy lives sort of in a castle that's surrounded by a wall. She lives with the Duke and Duchess, is how they're introduced as characters. They've effectively raised her, and they're very oppressive people. The Duchess is sort of like that matriarchal, judgmental, and the Duke is physically abusive. Yeah. In the very beginning of the book, Poppy has sort of snuck out of her room in the highest tower of the castle, right? And she's gone to a bar.
Up there like Rapunzel.
Rapunzel, yeah. She's gone to a bar called the Red Pearl. And the Red Pearl is
Stripper bar.
kind of a stripper bar. It's where people go to get laid, I guess. It's not prostitutes, though.
Swingers club.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a bar where with sex. And she's like, oh my God, they're playing poker. I'll play poker. Oh my God, there's alcohol. I've never had that before.
How old is she?
I assume over 18.
Okay.
I don't
Just
know.
checking.
The book doesn't say, I'm 25. Oh no, they did say she's 19.
Okay.
Yeah, she's young.
Okay.
When she's at the Red Pearl, her mentor, Victor, who is her parental father figure.
Oh, is this going to get gross?
No.
Okay, good.
No. Walks in and she's like, oh my God, Victor's here. My father figure can't see me in this place. I'm supposed to be locked away in a tower.
Is that the Duke?
No.
Okay, so she has the Duke and the Duchess and a father figure named Victor.
Yeah. The Duke and the Duchess are there to oppress and control her and make sure that she stays pure. Victor is more of a parental figure, and he teaches her how to use a dagger and how to fight and control situations that are not being locked in a tower.
Dagger. That was the
Daggers.
That
on
was
front.
the knife. Yeah.
Victor also teaches her how to shoot a bow.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so Victor walks in. She's like, oh crap, I need to get out of here. And so some bartender is like, you look like you're in trouble. She's like, yeah, I'm in trouble. So she says, go upstairs, go down the hallway, sixth door on the right, go into that room. There's nobody going to be in there.
Okay.
So she does. She goes in there. She goes to the sixth door on the right. Who is there? Some guy named Hawk with a 12-pack abs. And she's like, oh my God, a man. And he's like, oh, yes, you're a woman. And, they talk. They kiss.
Okay.
And then she runs away. She gets away. She goes back to her tower and she tells Tawny all about it.
She runs away from him?
From
or
him. She's like run
Did
away
she
in
want the
shame.
kiss?
Yeah, she wants to kiss.
Okay.
Yeah, it was consensual.
Okay.
She wants to kiss. And then she's like, conflicted about it because she's supposed to be pure. And if she's not pure, the gods will smite her,
Of course.
is what she's been told.
Why does she have to be pure?
She has to be pure. We'll get to that, actually.
Okay.
Right now, she has to be pure because otherwise the gods will smite her.
But why?
Hang on. The gods will smite her.
Okay.
That's all we know so far.
Okay. They
All right.
smite no one else, just her. Okay.
Okay. So continuing the story, the reader learns about something called the Craven. The Cravens are hell beasts with 4 long fangs, used to be humans, got a blood disease, and now they're really just, there's no controlling them. They just go and like kill people.
Hemophilia.
I don't know what that means.
Okay.
And then the Atlanteans are vampires.
Okay.
Straight up vampires.
Cool. I got that right off the cover.
Yeah, you totally got that.
Sweet.
And where she exists, the castle that she exists in, or the sort of tyranny that she's involved in, it's called the Ascension.
Okay. Good time to accept a call.
Hold nose in.
Yeah, just get all the.
Where Penelope lives, the ruler has a direct communication with the gods.
Ah.
The queen talks directly to the gods.
And she's going to be married to one of the gods.
No. She's going to do something called ascend. And ascension essentially means that you will become immortal.
Oh.
Yeah. So the idea is that Penelope is the maiden, will become immortal and use her magic powers to save the kingdom from the Craven.
I see.
And the Atlanteans are the super evil people.
And gods only want virgins.
Gods only want virgins.
I see.
Yep. But once you're ascended, you can do whatever you want.
Interesting.
Yeah. Fast forward a little bit.
Okay.
The Craven attack the town that she lives in. They break through the wall and they murder people. And Poppy's like, yo, I'm a badass bitch. So I'm going to go and I'm going to kill some Craven. And she does. She escapes her room. She takes her dagger. She takes her bow and she like kills a bunch of Craven. And she sees the guy that she saw in the bar down there fighting Craven too.
Hawk.
Yes.
Okay.
And Hawk sees her. And Hawk is like, what the fuck are you doing out here?
Hawk's like, damn, I like the way you hold your bow.
Pretty much. It was one of those scenes. It was like they were fighting and she's trying to get away from him.
But they're also making eyes.
Yeah, but they're making eyes and she can't tell if she wants that, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So, by the way, at this point, Hawk has become her personal guard somehow.
Of course.
Of course. So, this is stupid. Now that I'm reliving this book, I'm like, okay, maybe this book is dumb.
Hey, if you enjoyed it, that's what matters.
I thought there were good parts of it.
Yeah.
So, and I might be blushing
like
the
it.
entire time.
No, it sounds like there were good parts of this book. I'm making fun of the tropes,
Yeah, there's a lot of tropes.
but it doesn't mean it can't be enjoyed.
Yes. Progressing in the story. Hawk and Poppy have some more back and forths, not like sex back and forths, but they have some conversations.
Okay.
They get to know each other a little bit more. Hawk is like, I'll protect you forever. And she's like, thank you. That's your job. Your personal guard.
But also my daggers. Like, I got it.
Yeah. Also, I got it. And then a big attack happens
By the Craven.
by the Craven.
Okay.
Yes. The Craven completely overrun the castle that she lives in.
Okay.
No one can find the Duke. The Duchess is like kind of freaking out. And she helps defend the Duchess. And the Duchess is like, what are you doing? You can't defend me. You're supposed to be pure. And Poppy's like, shut the fuck up. I got this, which is pretty cool. And Victor dies, her father figure. And Hawk helps protect her from the rest of the Craven. And anecdote, there is another antagonist in the story that's not the Atlanteans or the Cravens. And I can't remember his name, but he's like this super sick, like touchy-feely, has all the power kind of guy.
Yeah.
And he's like, if you don't do what I want, then the Duke is going to punish you because the Duke whips her.
Yeah.
And during the scenes where the Craven was attacking the town or the castle, she kills that guy.
Nice.
She cuts him up into pieces.
Definitely not pure.
Definitely not pure. In front of the Duchess. And the Duchess is like, holy shit. But also, he probably deserved it.
She says that.
Yeah. And then they find the Duke.
Okay.
And he is nailed up to the wall. Like stakes.
Served you right for whipping her.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. He's hung up on the wall. And he's dead now. And the Duchess is not mourning him. Because the Duchess is like,
Also abused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Duchess is, immortal because she's ascended. And she's been living with this guy for a long time.
So the women get to ascend, but the men don't.
No, both genders ascend.
Why didn't the Duke ascend?
The Duke is ascended.
Then how did he die?
Oh, he's immortal by time, not by puncture wounds. They don't age.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, listeners. They're immortal because they don't age, not because they're unkillable.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Perfect.
That ends part 1. But then I listened to part 2 because I'm like, well, I kind of want to know what happens now.
Right.
Right.
And they left you on a cliffhanger.
They left me on a cliffhanger. So then I started listening to part 2. And in part 2.
Is that a separate book?
It's a separate book.
Okay.
Yeah.
What does that cover look like?
The exact same as it said part 2.
Okay.
Yeah. I think they just split it into 2 because the production of this audiobook is phenomenal.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay.
So there was no smut really in that first
just some
book.
like
Just some kissing.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's pretty much it.
Cool.
Okay. So part 2 gets real interesting. So in part 2, Poppy has to go live with the queen now because this castle's no longer safe. There's no Duke. The Duchess is like, you got to go.
Does her protector come with her?
Hawk comes with her.
Okay.
Yep. And they're on the road. And this is where it gets a little bit more smutty. Like there's definitely some sex scenes.
Okay.
But I'll gloss over those.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I'm not interested. But
they did it.
Yeah, they did it. And Hawk protects them from a couple of Craven attacks. Him and a couple of other guys that are sort of like his entourage protect her from a couple of Craven attacks. And then they enter a city a small town that there seems to be no threat of Craven and there's no royal.
What about the Atlanteans or whatever they're called?
Hang on.
Okay.
It doesn't fit into the existing rule regime style of village.
Okay.
And she's like, that's kind of interesting. And then one of them turns into a werewolf. One of Hawk's entourage turned into a werewolf, and come to find out, this town is full of lycanthropes, which is werewolf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
And she's like, what? I thought they were extinct. Also,
Right.
there's a werewolf. I need to run away.
Fuck.
Yeah. And she like guts one of them and she tries to get away, but they lock her in a prison cell.
Okay.
And she's like, where the fuck is Hawk? He must be dead. Oh my God.
Is Hawk a werewolf?
Hawk is an Atlantean.
Oh, shit.
Dun, dun, dun. Hawk infiltrated the regime and he became super good at fighting and then became her personal guard. And then he fell for her and she fell for him. And so it's forbidden love, everyone. Forbidden
he's
love.
He's basically a vampire?
He's a vampire.
Okay, so this turns into vampire and werewolves.
Vampires and werewolves.
Fascinating. Okay. I only feel a little incredulous because like I'm sure it's done really, really well. But why do we keep coming back to werewolves and vampires? Like there's so many other kind of monsters, right? Like
because one of them bites your neck and the other one is naked.
Is that what it is?
I don't know. I just made it up.
A furry thing?
I have no idea.
Because there's other. Maybe they aren't as romantic. Maybe you're right. But why are werewolves and vampires romantic?
This show is not about diving into the different ways that people
You're right.
enjoy.
I retract my review
Yep.
of the book I have not read.
Yep. Okay. So Poppy finds out that Hawk is Atlantean. Not only Atlantean, he is the Dark One. He is the leader of the Atlanteans. And
Temptation
another plot
in the flesh.
twist. Wait a second, though. Atlanteans are not the enemy. The Ascended are the enemy. So what happens is, if a vampire gives enough blood to a human, they can ascend them,
Okay.
making them not age, giving them like
So nice.
speed powers and stuff. So nice. But if an Ascended gives blood to a human, they turn into a Craven.
Wow.
Yeah. So the Ascended can't make more Ascendants. They need Atlanteans.
Huh.
And so Hawk's brother has been kidnapped by the queen and they cut him and they take his blood and they make Ascended.
Gross.
Yeah.
That's messed up.
He's a blood cow.
That's messed up.
Yeah. I thought so too. So
What a good twist.
Hawk is telling Poppy.
I retract my
this is
other
good,
statements. Right? It's great.
So Hawk tells Poppy all of this, and Poppy's like denial, right? Because she grew up in the regime. And then she slowly starts to come to and connect some dots, like, where are the gods? And Hawk is like, there are no gods. This is it, right?
Wow.
You've been lied to your whole life and controlled. And she says, you are correct. And then they kiss some more, and then she takes a bath. And then...
So it doesn't matter if she's pure at all?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't matter if she's pure at all.
Wow.
Yeah. So the second book, or the second part of this book, there's not a lot of action. There's not a lot of doing, but it's a lot of storytelling.
Okay.
Super good storytelling. You know, they get into the history and the dichotomy of this sort of two regimes that collided because they used to be friends. And like this, the original vampire wanted to save a human because they were in love and turned them into an Ascended. And then that person that they loved was like, I want your power for all of my friends. And so I'm going to convert them. And then they figured out about the Craven.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a whole thing. And Poppy's always been told that the Atlanteans control the Cravens. But then she realizes that Cravens are just bloodthirsty beings. There's nothing that.
So question.
Yeah.
How does an Ascended give blood? Is it like drink blood?
Blade style. So you know the scene in Blade where you sort of
where
like
you cut the palm,
cut the palm and then
together.
palm to the mouth. No.
Oh.
You put the palm to the mouth and then
Not
the person like suckles on the mouth on the palm or the wrist or something.
Oh, yeah.
But don't take too much.
Right.
Yeah. And so Poppy essentially becomes Ascended because
Hawk gives her blood.
Yeah, Hawk gives her blood because she's going to die. I forget how that happens. Oh, she gets into I know. When she was in prison, she got into a fight with an Atlantean that really didn't like her.
Oh, okay.
And she killed them, but also got super wounded. And so Hawk gave her his blood in order to heal her.
Yeah.
And she's like, what? Doesn't that make me an ascended? And he's like, the way that you drank my blood, I felt your presence. By the way, more plot twist, you're part Atlantean. So Poppy is also part Atlantean.
So is she kidnapped or re-raised by the Duke and the Duchess?
Yes.
Wow.
So Poppy's not necessarily kidnapped, but groomed. Poppy's mother was likely an Atlantean, and Poppy's father was a human. They lived under the queen for the regime. This is what I've sort of
pieced together.
One of Poppy's parents, and they don't describe it in the book, is Atlantean. And so Poppy is mixed, which is why she has magic powers. And the reason the queen wants Poppy is to drink her blood.
That sucks. Did she kill the queen?
No, not in book 2.
Oh, there's a third book?
There is another book. There's a sequel.
Are you going to read it?
I don't know.
I feel like you should. I want to know what happens.
You read the book. I mean, that's exactly what our audience is, right? I don't know if I'm going to read the next part. I don't like the I hate you, I love you sort of like romance. By the end of part 2, Hawk is like makes an announcement to the dinner table and says, we're going back to Atlantis or whatever this.
Yeah.
Atlantia. And Poppy and I are going to get married. And Poppy's like, what? We're going to get married? Like, what? And then that was like the end.
Oh, dude. See ya.
So
have fun there.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to read the next book because it's sort of like.
They left it on like a dramatic kind of disagreement, possibly.
Yeah.
Relationship disagreement, which is not up your alley.
Not on my alley.
Yeah.
Right. If they had left it like, we're going to storm the castle and kill the queen and reclaim my brother from the blood cow, I would have been like, yeah, let's go.
Okay.
Sequel.
This is a cool book series.
Right?
I like the twist on the vampires. Like, I don't understand where the werewolves come into it really, other than they're just there in that universe. Mm-hmm. But I like that they made a twist with that it's not like Twilight.
Right. They don't sparkle.
Right. So who would you recommend this book to?
Adults. Adults that like romantasy. Because I think, honestly, it's good. The production audio quality is phenomenal. So if you have the chance to listen to it.
Are there multiple actors?
Multiple voice actors. There's background noises. Like when she was in the bar, there were bar noises. When she was on the horses, there were horse noises. Anyway, that's the book.
Cool. Anything else about this book that we should know?
That's it. Go and read it. Listen to it, whatever.
Cool. Okay, see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.